TFM 96.2, we amplifying voices, definitely and we're definitely empowering lives. And I'll tell you this, tonight on Kasi Entrepreneurship, we then celebrated the power of, turning passion into profit and dreams into reality. I mean, from the vibrant streets of Garankuwa to then building a brand that, styles some of the most elegant celebrations across Gauteng and definitely beyond. We definitely have to meet Miss Beatrice Songoana, who's also known as Miss Songz. This is the founder and CEO of Songz Events Décor. She's just not decorating events. She's definitely decorating lives, sharing skills, and even empowering others along the way. And to help us unpack what her story tells us about the bigger picture of township economy, we're definitely going to be joined by Mr. Makopo, who understands the pulse of Kasi business, its challenges, and definitely opportunities, right? Together we'll dive into what it means to hustle, collaborate, and even build from the ground up to the Kasi economy. Definitely stay tuned. And you know what? This is Kasi Entrepreneurship. Let me tell you this. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of Kasi Entrepreneurship.
Welcome to another empowering edition of Kasi Entrepreneur on the Groundbreakers, right here on TUT FM. This segment is proudly brought to you by Makopo.com, redefining smart home experience from voice control ovens to AI-powered home tech. Makopo.com is your trusted partner in luxury and smart living. Step into the future with home appliances that works as hard as you do. Let's build township economy, one entrepreneur at a time.
Building every entrepreneur one single time. Mr. Makopo, Good evening. Miss Beatrice, good evening and welcome to TTFM.
Good evening, Mr. Madisa. Good evening, Lesita. Good evening, Angela. Good evening to everyone who's in the studio. But how can I forget our listeners and viewers at
Definitely, if you do that, no. Miss Beatrice, good evening and welcome to TFM. Ukibona karonali nerves. Shake them off.
Yeah,
no. How are you?
I'm good, and yourself?
Definitely alive, cannot complain. It has definitely been a hot day. So chaser.
Hey, Mr. Marisha, I came here rushing, actually running from Mpumalanga.
Yeah.
Just trying to keep it on time.
Yeah.
Going there and coming back, it was worse on the road.
It was worse, right?
It's very hot these days.
Sure, it is. Miss Beatrice, as hot the day was, as you are also, let's get into this particular conversation. I want us to start it off in terms of your roots. Born and bred out in Garankuwa, but now you are based in terms of orchards. Your roots are family rooted Komakasana. I want to start to then say, how did your upbringing influence or even shape the entrepreneurial spirit that you have? Let's start it off this simple basis.
Okay.
Sure.
Thank you. First of all, I'd like to say thank you for TUT, for Mr. Makopo. And the invite has been honored. I'm here.
Yeah.
Lindsay is very good. Okay. Also, thank you to all the viewers and the listeners that are on board as well.
Sure.
Beatrice is a mother of two, born and bred in Garankuwa. And my upbringing, I grew up in a Christian home.
Okay.
And I was raised by a single mom, and I have a brother as well. And my mom was so strict. And the main thing for her was to make sure that we get education, we prosper, we succeed in life and everything else. And me growing up, I had to dive in somehow. I don't know. It just happened whereby I just love to work with my hands and use my creativity and to also explore more skills and not limit myself into any type of issues or environmental discrepancies of challenges and whatsoever. So me diving into the baby that I gave birth to in 2015, which is Songz, it was basically because we love our family, we loved hosting.
Get together.
Yes.
Get together.
Yes,
Yeah.
So it will be the birthday gatherings, Christmas, and then I'm like, okay, we have equipments. We've got plates, we've got underplates, glasses, and whatnot.
Yep.
Why can I not just play around with those things up until I realized that it started as if my mom would normally say, you know, and here we are now. We have built a legacy for our future, which is my girls. Yes, I've got the COO. She said I must say it to her COO.
Sure.
I'm with my COO here.
Yeah.
So we are building this legacy together. So whenever we are out and about with our events, they are also part of it, learning the skills. I'm sharing a lot. I'm not only sharing with myself, I'm also sharing with other people outside outside the family, whereby I get people from outside that offers their service to shadow, to do job shadowing around, and to also give in their assistance.
Sure. Proper stuff there. And I wanted to brag a bit that we share the same name. Please do tell the people on air. We share.
Polelo.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You should rock up with the rostam and play pop sound there, but we'll definitely deal with it. Mr. Makopo, let me come into you. I'll bring in as Beatrice coming in a moment there to then say, what's your sentiments on such? And I always tell you this, that once a guest has spoken, I always want to get your sentiments to then say, if you hear their story, what does it then tell you about the untapped potential in the communities?
Mr. Marisha, this is, I think, I know I will sound like we're still in August.
Sure.
Yeah, but I think it's quite important as well that we must always also encourage not only the spirit of entrepreneurship, maybe Kukas or anywhere else, but this women empowerment upliftment thing. Remember, somewhere in August we spoke that normally women, they are always on the deficit. They always have all these issues. Their challenges are more like maybe 10 times what we as men, as male entrepreneurs that we face out there in the market. Our guest just said one of the things, Kehore, she's a mother of 2, if I heard very well. And the other thing, Kori, she was actually raised by a single mom. Yeah. And remember, I spoke to the gendered norms. Normally are the challenges to women by the entrepreneurs, because at the end of the day, they still have these other things that they have to do in the household. And at the same time, they have to juggle that with entrepreneurship at the same time. True. Number 2, I said to you, most of women, what they do when they are running businesses, they reinvest quite a lot of their profits into the well-being of their children, of the kids, unlike Ronaban Naker. So now she having a female entrepreneur being here at the same time, and she's a mom and doing all those things. This is one of those women, by long they were here and they demonstrated they're not gonna eat from what falls from the table. Sure. And they are here to actually to partake in the mainstream of the whole economic what you call it, township economy. Sure. But what I like about her industry, key issue, it's not only, you don't have to only confine it within the but you could but can I call it within the parameters of like just being in the township. I mean, it's one of the businesses that you can easily actually scale. It's one of the scalable services. Because now, unless if what you do, you firstly identify or do you define your business by a certain niche,
certain elements.
You can just say, okay, my niche, I will be doing only the decor fela chako manyalo. Unless if you limit yourself, but also depending on what it's your passion. Sure. But now, what I think it's so much scalable. You can actually diversify. You can package it in a way that you can also do corporate events. Sure. Instead of just only doing Manyalo or the funerals. You know, even the funerals these days, Mr. Marish, we don't compromise. We look for companies that can offer us uncompromised services, especially when it comes to catering, when it comes to deco. I
was gonna say, sorry to interrupt you so abruptly there, but let me get in there. I was gonna give a few sentiments on that. Even Lidikoma. You know,
those days, yes.
I was at home, my nephew. Bridal showers.
And those days I had our own lady groom. What is this? Groom. Let's help me. I see bridal legging.
The bachelor party.
Exactly. Now we do have those things.
But let me come in from the pointers that you mentioned. I love the fact that you mentioned, I scribbled it down here, not to eat falling crumbs coming in from the table. That's so powerful. It then makes me wonder, or makes me change my line of questioning to ask you 2015. Right? That's where the company started.
2015, I think.
2015.
I mean, it's a decade-old
company. I want to understand the turning moment, because you said you used to do Aretsebane and the get-togethers and all of that. I want that defining moment where you said, you know what, this is my time.
And I'm venturing.
Yeah, this is my time, and I'm going into this particular business. Because you see those you see my 8. And then my 6. I want that defining moment.
Okay.
Sure.
With my defining moment, to be exact, on that was basically just hosting those Christmas gatherings, whereby we'll be designating people to do the cooking. I'll be the one doing both cooking and setting up as well. And I just have to do and give in instructions.
Yeah.
So with the equipments that we accumulated, that I had at hand, it was actually the equipments that we bought, thinking when we were about to celebrate a wedding that we're gonna use it. Instead, we used somebody else's thingy. So then like, we do have this crookery, why not? Can we just explore from this mall? Then there was a cousin of mine, Tumelo, must just mention, and he said, no, why can't you just start this business and see where it goes? Then, where I used to work in a corporate, I had to introduce my business there. Then I was funded there to start with smaller equipment when we had year-end function. So basically, my first gig was with this company that I used to work for.
Yeah.
Then I had to do the year-end function for it.
Sure. Sentiments that you want to throw in there, Makopo?
Yeah, I think it's quite beautiful. Number one, she was working somewhere.
Yeah, proper stuff.
And so she had to leave there. Because quite honest, other people, they only stay there until either the company is liquidated or it's too late. Remember, we're living in an economy that it's just quite difficult to live in.
Yeah, it is.
And most people that want to be comfortable about in the corporate space.
Yeah.
Somewhere miracle. Now, she's one of those or they had to leave the corporate space and then about let me do this. But most of people, Mr. Madisa, you asked her about the defining moment when she actually had to make a decision to say, I am now venturing into business. Remember, most people baba started in the businesses. They started as by a passion or let me just do the side hustle. But somehow they were able to commercialize that or monetize that passion by turning into their into something else. Now, to some, it's not just a source of actual income. To some, it's a source of wealth.
Yeah.
Something that started way too small. But most people in her industry, how they start, Mr. Madisha, it's almost the same as what she said. Babam batomakaho doing on the discounted rate. Or one of the close friends. Batomakaho tusha whenever they have mebereko kamaheng. Batomakaho decorate everything. Then you but now I can do this. Get sharp. And some you can see you've got the love for cooking.
Yeah.
And then every now and then hello the funeral yes, and that's how most people they start.
Sure. And you know what? Speaking of that, like my grandmother, nama griza kaba music makasana. Listen, what do you call those things? Bogobe bola tingi. Amana tingi, lemukeke rap, le spinach, kolo tama gowa kati. Ba meme lora manji utazwaga la tor chapela da khutes. But you mentioned something also profound, Mr. Makopo.
Mr. Madisha.
Yeah.
He used to harera okre ar breke la ka mamurute. The way a khonang wa pe.
Sure.
And o tla kra re botso ka mo putego le ga jano mamurute ga ka pe bo botle le ga jano le sa tsebo re ke no. So
I guess also the same sentiment goes to you as Beatrice, but I want to touch in the I'm looking at the shirt. Blessed touch with elegance, right? And then I'm looking at the range of the services that you provide. When Mr. Makopo then mentioned nowadays everyone wants a deco and all of that. And then you start off kiddies parties.
Yes.
Yeah, kiddies parties. My nephew nabamukolobeza nabe lady deco. So I want to understand, how does each event carry the blessed touch with elegance? How do you make sure that event no matter ke dikoma, no matter ke party ya bana, no matter ke
like how do you package your
how
your
do you make sure
to make sure it stands out?
Okay, thank you for that question.
Yeah.
With how I make sure that I would use this word, apart and different from others, is how I execute the whole concept. Because normally would say to the parents that will come in and say, I have a first year birthday party that is coming up, then we would ask, what is your inspo? What is the theme and all that? So with that, they will share pictures. And then what we have to do, we don't have to do a copy and paste. That is from us. We don't want to do copy and paste. We need to add that elegance, that touch, meaning the minute I start executing the table setting, the backdrop and everything, I personalize it based on the concept that, okay, a client has this vision, but let me up with my own creativity and add this and that, things that they didn't even think that it's possible for it to come out that way. Hence, I use this slogan, blessed touch with elegance, whereby in almost of our packages, or I would say our packs, it's custom prices. So we don't have standard rate prices because you have to be specific. I need this type of chair, I need this type of table, I need a marquee, I don't need a stretch tent. So those things are the ones that will give us a variety of knowing how to cost and how to put our packages together. But it has to be it's almost every time it's custom pricing. We don't have standard.
I think Mr. Madisa, it's quite important what she just said. I get it. Number one, it's a custom thing, it's not a cut and paste thing. I get it. And then Abare, somehow she takes you in the journey to make sure her, even her pricing and her costing. That's where most of small businesses, they get wrong. Remember we spoke, really some of the businesses don't even last 3 years of their existence. Some they only exist in 2 years on paper and so because most small businesses, especially in the townships, Mr. Madisa, for them not to be able to broaden their horizon and come out of where they exist, the issue Nakutidi Madisa get the issue they just don't know how to cost and price their businesses. Some you can see this is a lovely, beautiful service, but the person who actually prices himself way out of the market or way far too less. It does not make any economic sense for the person to because this is one of the questions that I wanted to ask. But the most important thing I've never seen, I didn't see her website. I just want to know, how do you get yourself out there? How do you preach the gospel to make sure people, they know of your services?
You can take the one before I have something different, but you can take that one.
Yes.
Sure.
Okay. Can I just would like to add on the issue of the pricing, whether people are undercharging and overcharging. That is why I'm saying in most cases, and with the associates that I have in the same industry, is that most of us, we do custom pricing based on the services that a client requires. And we do not forget the worth and the value of the work that we know we can deliver. So in most cases, I cannot just want to charge someone 3.5 for 20 guests, knowing that the rest of the decor now, it's going to be out of my pocket. So you will find that there's some that will just pull themselves down in that way, whereby they undercharging themselves, end up doing the whole service for free. I would call would normally
it's just literally when you look at the numbers.
I would just say
the logistic part of arranging the whole thing, and
it makes no sense.
It makes no sense.
So we end up calling it you doing monelo, because now you end up taking this because you didn't check in all the details on how to cost and price. And with regards to, let me know, the
pricing part.
The marketing part.
Strategy.
I'm sorry about that. The marketing part, we are on social media. It's TikTok. We are there on TikTok. We are there on Instagram as well as Facebook, and as well on my WhatsApp business. And what we normally try to do is on weekly basis, you just show up your work. You just post and post. And there's this guy, he would normally say, consistency is the one that will make your brand be. So we all striving for that perfection to become consistent. Some days are not the same, whereby there'll be a days whereby I'm saying, okay, on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I'm going to post. On these days, I'm going to post other people's business, because we are all about uplifting other people's businesses as well. So we normally market ourselves through all these few channels that I've just shared, and I will share the handle on a later stage.
Okay. But now, Mr. Madisa, I just want to suggest something to her, if she does not mind. What you can do as well when it comes to marketing, it's very important to collaborate with people in the same industry, even if it's not people by long or they offer the same service. One understand again? Like, it's the same industry. You can just build a network of them so that you can plug into their ecosystem to make sure you use them. For example, if you work closely with batho ba eleng gore ba offer the photography, the videography, wherever they go, they can actually recommend your service. One understand again?
Yeah, true.
Yeah, true. If you are only doing deco, but when batho ba specialize in catering services, if you can be able to build that network, and you make sure now, and then, but the other thing you need to do, at least like about the website, to somehow educate people about your service offerings. For those by long all the social handles, but they need a professional image, like in a form of a website. It's gonna give them all this the services that you offer.
Sure. Yeah. You know what? You spoke of associates, and Mr. Makopo speaking of collaborations and networking. I will take that when we come back from a quick ad break. But before we take that ad break, I want to ask you about the skills that you ventured in, right? But before that, you mentioned something. You said stretch and something else. What?
My key.
My kiki ke tantang go lo good.
You know that one red and white.
No, I wanna ke di tante. And my key ke tante go.
Or at least you know.
No, it's a frame.
Sure.
It is a big tent, but it's a framed aluminium tent. The ones that they will normally use in those big events. You know? Yes, there are some that are glassy, and there's some that are the plastic. Those are the marquees.
Those are the marquees, right? And balloon garland styling.
Okay, the balloon garland styling.
Madisa, what is it?
I got a chance to yeah. Graduation party.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Currently, I'm still in talks with a lady, as Mr. Makopo was talking about collaboration. I'm already in that collaboration with few people, the ones in food, photographers, and I'm currently working something up for the new ones that this lady, she's offering cooking classes, and the people wanted to also be they're interested in deco and balloons. So we're going to collaborate with that, and I'm offering skills. How I taught myself how to do balloons is like.
So you also want to teach other people?
Yes. So I normally share skills and all that.
Yeah.
So the balloon garlands is, people would say, I need a birthday party, then I need a backdrop. So we would normally say, you need a backdrop for your birthday celebration, something that will be part of your photo shoot with the guest. Something that will create a lovely and elegant. Yes. Right? Yeah. That's where we came up with learning how to do balloons. Then I had to share the skills with my team as well. And I'll let you go in a bit. I'll take a very quick ad break after this question, because you just mentioned it now, and then I was going to go into it later on, but I'd rather take it, the issue of skills. Why do you find it important for Wayne to then share the skills that you have accumulated instead of then keeping to yourself? Like me, my passion is accumulating knowledge. Right? I like reading, getting a lot of information. Then when we sit, then we share, we separate on them. Why is it important for you? The importance of sharing a skill is a manner of learning that I don't have to grow alone. I don't have to keep a lot of knowledge and things that I know somebody else is capable of doing. Why do I have to sit with that skill and like, no, I cannot. Then I decided, no, let me just put it out there, offer balloon styling classes. It's 101. Currently it's 1-on-1. People who are interested, mostly it's the fellow people in the same industry that wants to have those backdrop, and they like, I'm having an event so far, in case that you happen not to be available, because normally they would call me to do the balloons for them. Then in case you are not available, you're busy with your own events, then that's when I decided, no, let me rather share this skill, and obviously we pay.
Mr. Madisa, I think it's very important as well to share this, the skill for her. Remember, we always encourage people when they do their businesses, it shouldn't be just self-employment business. I mean, it's part of also building systems in your business. When you are not there, your business cannot run. So now it's very important how you duplicate yourself into people. You share the skill, you train them, you teach them, so that when you are not there, someone can be on the driving seat and make sure to run a business. Too, when you package your service, Mr. Madish, which is very important, you need to also sell what we call the convenience. Make sure, the reason why I spoke to the collaboration, but these days they just want everything in one house. I would deal a photographer there, and then I would deal with someone who hire up this beautiful cars on his wedding. Then I would deal with someone who deco. Then I would deal with someone. But if you can collaborate and put them in one house, you know these days, Mr. Madish, I'm sorry, but I say August anyway. I get it. Normally, when we are focusing on planning for our marriage, but I normally stress too much planning for the event, which is a wedding day. Or I want my wedding to be looking like this, but if you can sell that convenience and make sure everything is in one house, build the collaboration, almost everything, even if it includes videographers and everything. And that way it's going to give you business.
Sure. You know what? Let's take a very quick ad break. We'll come back to that. When we come back from that, I'll look into issues like collaboration and even community upliftment, but most importantly, challenges that you might have faced there and the resilience. And coming in from you then saying that you shouldn't keep knowledge to yourself. If you watch that popular SABC 1 show that used to start 6, now 7, Koko Manchare. How got information in Chicago? Ladies and gentlemen, 2 minutes after the hour, 8 o'clock, you are still listening to TUTFM 96.2. Let's take a quick ad break. We'll be back after this.
TUTFM has signed a code of conduct that is enforced by the Independent Communication Authority of South Africa. Under the code, we are committed to giving you content that is fair, programming that is not harmful, and news that is accurate. If you think that we are not living up to the code, then you can lodge a complaint to the station manager. Direct complaints to mahapaek@tut.ac.za or call 012-382-9719. We will respond within 7 working days. If you are not satisfied with our response, then you can escalate your complaint to the Independent Communication Authority of South Africa. Direct your complaint via email to bimashego@icasa.org.za or via post to Independent Communication Authority of South Africa, 350 Witch Hazel Avenue, Eco Park Estate, Centurion, 0144. Or call 012-568-3000. TUTFM 96.2, amplifying voices, empowering lives.
All the hits, one station.
My heart goes da-dee-da-da-dee-da, da-dee-da-da-dee-da, da-dee-da-da-dee-da. My heart goes
We're beautiful like diamonds in the sky.
Popping music, so you never miss a beat. TUTFM 96.2.
Come on!
You're locked on
The coolest station
in Pretoria.
Cause we play
This, yeah,
Like and follow us on Facebook at TUTFM 96.2, on Twitter and Instagram at TUTFM_962.
To your favorites. To your favorites. And keep it
Radio
on TUTFM.
That's my baby, that's my baby, that's my baby girl. That's my baby girl. My baby girl.
Yeah, this station's got soul.
The Groundbreakers, Mondays to Thursdays, 7 to 9 p.m. on TUTFM.
It is definitely 5 minutes after the hour, 8 o'clock. You are still listening to TUTFM 96.2, amplifying voices, empowering lives. And this is Kasi Entrepreneurship. Definitely live on Facebook, definitely live on YouTube. You can contact us if you have anything beautiful to say to Miss Beatrice. Maybe she came, did something beautiful for you, and you want to send in your thoughts, your comments. You can send in the number on 012-382-9257, 012-382-9257. Miss Beatrice, let's get into some of the challenges that you might have mentioned. I wrote down, where's my paper? Yeah, you mentioned that you are a mother of two, right? And as an entrepreneur, we definitely have to think that it on its own comes with a lot of challenges. What have been some of your biggest challenges in terms of building this particular sustainable business, and how did you push through that? How did you navigate that particular challenge?
Sure. I will start by saying, all the challenges, I'm glad that we're facing challenges, not problems, because the minute you see a problem, you see a huge wall in front of you that you cannot even get to the other side. So with challenges, I particularly managed to learn to understand that I'm so grounded, spiritually so, that with everything that I do, I need to present everything to God. So this business, particularly Bila was supposed to mention from the beginning, it's God's business. Why am I saying that? Because there'll be times whereby I used to ask God, how am I supposed to round about and handle this business? Then I had to say, for now, let me just say, even if you give me 2 events in a month, I'll be good.
Sure.
Whether I have events or not, I'll still be fine. That's when I realized the power of prayer. Then as time goes on, there were times whereby it was so silent. Our industry is so saturated. So not everyone as well is our client. I have my clientele, others have their own clientele. And I've learned to distinguish that and accept the fact that even if you can come to me as Polelo, Mr. Madisa, and said, I need a quotation for a wedding, has to be in a venue for 100 guests, then I give you the quote. And then you come back and say, that was too steep for me. Then I will say, what was your budget? Then you will mention your budget. I have to check based on your budget, is it sufficient for the look and the output that we have to give to you? If I see that it's insufficient, I will say, no, unfortunately, this is insufficient. We cannot. And I won't even cry if you happen to say, we found another supplier. Because I'm grounded upon, Lord, even if it's 2 events in a month, I'm good.
It continues fine.
Yes. Sure. And that's where I've realized as time goes on, then came COVID.
COVID-19.
So with COVID really made us stronger, to be honest, because now we can be able to plan ahead, to plan on things that we don't even know of. At least you know that as long as I can manage this part of my life here, then I'll be able to understand other sides that will be growing out from that particular point. COVID came, people already booked. Myself, I already had a booking because it was my birthday, because remember, hard lockdown happened on the 26th
of March.
My birthday was on the 29th.
Sure.
And I had an event that I was supposed to pull through on the 29th. Then hard lockdown, and I was like, I need to approach the client and say, now what are we supposed to do? I was willing to refund.
Yeah.
I was willing to refund, and then the client said, no, this thing will go away. So as time, we will then do another celebration and rather keep that. I'm like,
Yeah.
you know. So I had to learn as well how to manage our finances, you know, and you pray about it. Lord, make me a good steward of my finances so that you don't end up spending unnecessary, whereby it takes me to a point where now the issue of me being a mom, that me also starting this business was because of them, so that I know even if it's a legacy for them, but they have no interest in growing with the business, but at least they know Mama had 1, 2, 3. Mama fought to 1, 2, 3, so that tomorrow our future is brighter. So in essence was a manner of not every challenge will break us. Yes, it will just bend you, prune you, shape you, and then you become better. Then now you realize, okay, now I'm here. It's 2025, and the business is so quiet. Because normally when I start about March, returning to the winter season, it becomes quiet.
Very dry.
And then we start stressing, hey, rent, storage, and then you have those cases whereby we are even unable to pay for the storage. Now logo storage, they're gonna auction my things, and now they don't know the worth of your equipment. So it's a matter of now, where do you want to see yourself? How do you want to grow it to be better? So you have to make all those sharp changes that are also reasonable and that are doable as well.
So
So
I want to pick Mr. Makopo's brain on a particular point you mentioned there, and I like the fact that you say the winter season is dry, and then you said that the industry is saturated, right? So go le nna ke etla mngatse ena fao ya na ke tla la ba dikoma ke winter season is dry, dikoma di atla ka se ka mari.
No, hardly Limpopo renyala every weekend. Every street sinele manyalo ithu.
Plus ile weekend se nkulukie.
O groza Mr. Makopo, coming in from what as Beatrice said, right, that the sector, the business side of it is saturated, but we don't see male figures. I'm not sure if they are there yet. I'm not sure. Maybe they are. I haven't seen them, but I then see a lot of women.
We struggle for male entrepreneurs.
Right?
For a very long time, every time when you invite them to the studio, they will give you so many reasons. Some they will say no, it's fine, but now at the later stage, then it's only women entrepreneurs by Leonhore. They always show up and come and share their insights and their challenges here.
That's why I want to take you on that point of gender inclusivity to then say, you know, we always speak about women and all of that, but it's women who are showing up. So it brings in us a question that say, but what kind of uniqueness do then women bring to the township economy if we are then seeing them push so much than Majid?
Yeah. Hokalebella, like, remember I came with a statistic before, Karim. As much as our township economy worth over 900 billion. But now most of the township economy it's so informal in nature. And without being informal, Mr. Madisa Kehore, majority around 52% of the entire township economy, most are women-owned businesses. Because kidi hair salons, there are quite a lot of things. But now she said something about it in her industry, but it's something that I want to
extrapolate on.
Yes. Mr. Marisha, she started way back in 2015. I started way back in 2015. Her business is decade old. Survived everything. And also COVID-19. You know, there are a lot of businesses are just the ashes, and they couldn't even rise up from being just the ashes of COVID-19 when the economy was closed. Now, most businesses, they closed down during COVID-19. Some, even these big ones, Mr. Marisha, we did not know Horo. On their balance sheet, they've got only maybe a few cents to survive them in the next 21 days. Some, when the president was making an announcement that national decree or we are going into a lockdown and then the economy will be closed. Already they were already announcing their closure. So now her business demonstrated a resilience.
Sure.
Quite a very important thing to do. To build a business will be able to demonstrate resilience even when it's dry season. Because now she says come winter, now sometimes it becomes very dry. I get it.
Yeah.
I think it becomes very dry if you only confine your business within the spaces, this informal sector.
Yeah.
Corporates, they still do the wellness functions for their employees. There are quite a lot of things going on. Maybe she needs to now change. Maybe she define her niche market within maybe a specific, but she said she did also where she was working a corporate event. I think my encouragement to her is also to look if she can also accommodate other sectors, because now I don't believe it's oversaturated. It can be saturated but not oversaturated. It depends on how you package your services.
I want to take you on the point you mentioned, resilience and funds, right? To then say a lot of entrepreneurs, they often complain about funds as one of the biggest challenges. When you started the business in 2015, were any support coming from external support, or you had to then bootstrap yourself into it? Like if I get a client, was there someone who then said, you know what, I like this particular concept, and I think it so were there such people, or you bootstrapped yourself into the growth?
On that note, on that note, I didn't have any sponsor. I didn't have any. Concha, what's the term that we use when you need to start a business?
Funding, capital.
I didn't have that.
Yeah.
My mentor then said to me, because I have all the equipments that you need for the events business.
Yeah.
There's no need for you to have a capital to start one. So just quote based on my price list, because a chair is this much, a table is this much, a spoon, a glass, and an end. So I was never sponsored or funded. It was a manner of, even on my salary, I had to forever put away 1,000, just a standby, so that whenever with my team, because we really worked almost 6 months, whereby I was not even saying thank you to my team, whereby because at first we agreed, but but the better thing about it is that the minute you quoted or sent the invoice to a client, they paid with everything that you didn't have and others had, you rent it out. So outsourcing is the most part in most of our decor business to outsource certain equipments. Some you can buy yourself with that profit that was supposed to be yours.
But does it make any economic sense to actually outsource? Instead, like what is the viable model between like outsourcing and owning the equipment? Because
that is why I was using the word that it's saturated. Because what happens is that the equipments, they come in and go out quick. So we did. Some people like me, I would say, no, I don't want to buy chairs. There's this type of chairs that are here now. So remember, at first, the first chairs that was so popular was Tiffany chairs. Then they were kicked out by Phoenix chairs.
Then something else.
Just like that.
So now you're saying owning them. It's not that viable then.
It is viable if your concentration is based on rental. You don't want to be part of doing the whole conception, planning and everything else.
You only rent them out.
Yes.
To buy longer, they offer those services.
So it's that you have the equipments, I come to you, I rent out, I'm going to do a full planning and coordinating of the thingy. Once we're done, we do that. So with us, we're like, because the tilo tse di antshana, and intana a lot tables and whatnot. No, we cannot keep up, because based on the fact that when I mentioned the issue of saturation is that because re bangata, while and then the nice thing and the best advantage about people that owns equipment is that you have that flexibility about your pricing. So you can be cheaper, and then comes me, you rent the chairs with 70 rands, and I say it's 90 rand to a client, because I need to get at least 10 rand, you know. So they are gaining, but mostly people that own, they don't. It's like most of them are already collaborating with big companies, so they can offer 200, 300 chairs and all
at a go.
Yes, at a go.
And they have that capacity to actually, because of their relationships with this, their association with these other big companies. Now it gives them that capacity to be able to help you as well.
Exactly. So
can you see, Mr. Madisa, what we spoke about? I'm sorry just to come in there. This is what we always say, and I always we need to debunk this pernicious myth or you need capital to start. You don't necessarily need one. One of our guests said the same thing. The only thing is when, now to start, you can start anytime. How she started, and she's using other people, they outsource, whatever. The only problem is when she does not now reinvest that money into the business to grow it, because the only phase where you will need more capital, it's when you want to get it off the ground and grow it more from where it is.
True and valid point. And I wanted to take you on a point that you mentioned there. I think it would be very, for me, this is me, right? My own sentiments to that I would find it very stupid and weird. Not to say stupid, but let me say weird. For you to own something that you know is outdated. Come on, skinny G. 2017, the color blocking, the military, what come on, so I regularly the chair, the Tiffany Chester 200. Next 5 years, put us something so elegant once again.
Now I've got a very different view.
Right, but looking at time, I want to move on a very point. We'll come back and state that. I was reading that you mentioned that you worked around outside even Gauteng. You spend. How do you see that expansion shaping your business? Being able to go, Mr. Makopo said, come to Limpopo, they get married every particular weekend. So when you travel into such to those provinces, that's expansion. How do you see it shaping your business?
And my first outside of Gauteng event was in Limpopo.
Sure.
Jana first.
Sure.
And funny enough is that the lady that asked me to come there, I only went there to do a backdrop. That's when the word backdrop started coming in, and I was at a point whereby people were calling me a backdrop guru, because I would see an idea on Pinterest. I'll be the one. Like I'm the one who has developed that backdrop already, advertising and all that. So that this lady says, I'm having a wedding for my reception. The hall is just plain. The hall is just plain. I need something to enhance the matrimonial. We had to drive from Pretoria to Genfest just only for a backdrop, a mere backdrop, whereby you just put the name and the flowers and everything. And by then, the popular flowers that she specifically needed was a paper flower. So we had to drive there and do the setup. And the lovely part about working without limits or boundaries is that you manage to also learn more about the people that are in the same industry as you. At the other provinces, because there were most people, the lady that was doing the actual decor there was like, what is this? How did you make this thing? And something like that. So I had to explain to her, what is the backdrop? What is its purpose? And everything else. And she says, I need to buy it from you. I used to have that time whereby I used to make backdrops and sell to other events planners that were outside, even Botswana and Namibia. To a point whereby I said, no, let me rather share a skill, because sometimes financially it won't make sense. I charge you for 2.5 for a specific backdrop. You want me to deliver it in Botswana. So the costing
does not make.
Yes. Then I would just say to a person, buy this cheap board or buy this whatever board, do this, buy this, do that. I would share information that how you can also come up with something like that. And the fact that you come with people in the rural areas or in Limpopo, for example, then you'll find that they're still using plastic chairs with chair covers. They still like their.
That's where I wanted to come.
Yes, then their decor is still that old standard way. Then you being in an environment like that, basically, because now your eye is seeing in a different way. And a person then asks you, so how would you have set up this? Now I would even jump in and help other decor people to do their setup instead of you putting, because there used to be this thing whereby people will put a glass upside down. And I'm like, why? Then they say for dust. I'm like, no, for you to have a nice and elegant table escape that is appealing, that is nice, everything must be proper according. You don't need to put even your forks and spoons upside down. No. Why are we not putting the plate upside down? You see. Proper. So I would jump in and assist.
What are the plate, Jonah? They don't gather dust. It's only.
But it's only the classes.
You know what? Definitely, I get your sentiments, and it's an unfortunate that we're running flat out of time. Definitely have only a minute left there, but I'll take this 30 seconds if possible and split it between you to say, Mr. Makopo, with what you just had, what are some of this? Or rather, let me put it like this. When you study the landscape of the business, the township economy, what are some of the biggest misconceptions that you find that when you hear such sentiments and stories coming in from Ms. Beatrice, you feel that people of Komakasana, they should be able to break them?
I think number one, there's this thing, most businesses, hence really most of them, they are so informal. Most of them are still survivalist businesses. It's just businesses still or key necessity businesses, as opposed to just being the businesses still or building a legacy that can actually outlive you. Right now, Mr. Madisa, without mentioning a lot, I came with my daughter here. She's listening like 10-15 years into the future. She's listening to someone who will have been in business for maybe for 10 years. And I always encourage her, or business is the only way to go. So as much as Nike run a business and somehow I would like her to venture into business, the most important thing that we don't do, Mr. Madisa, we don't build businesses still or they will outlive us. You only do it now, and then after, it's a business that another generation won't be able to inherit.
Sure.
So I came with my princess here to say, you know what, listen into like 20 years into your future to make sure whenever I hand the baton, now she's able to pick it up. So the misconception businesses I'm only doing this for the survival of my family. As long as but you don't build that at the back of your mind. With this thing, I'm building a business that will outlive me.
Sure.
Something, a legacy that I will leave behind.
Speaking of legacy, I catch you off there. I get to Ms. Beatrice and we'll close it off there. Speaking of legacy, and you mentioned the times 3, I think, ever since we started this conversation. What's looking 5 years ahead? What is that particular legacy that you want your company to carry, especially given the context that it comes from Komakasa? Where do you see the company in 5 years' time?
2 years' time.
Sure, proper stuff. Yeah.
In 2 years' time, I see Songz Events giving and sharing and empowering others. Not only focusing on whether it's male or female, but those who are willing to learn and expand the skill. I was saying to my daughter the other day that based on the education system that we currently have now in South Africa, I think it's best now that we actually should have a school for business, specifically for business, whereby you study for whatever type of business that you would want to have, so that you don't depend on having umlungu that you need to report to. So meaning to have that, it has to be an empire in a way, whereby we empower other people, then we bring our business, It's you know how funeral parlors grow. Yes, so it should be something that bears fruit like that. I'm busy checking my phone here with a note that I got a message this morning that said
I think it's a very important thing, beautiful thing to inculcate.
It's
this entrepreneurial mindset from the young age that she's talking about.
Yes,
sure.
Whereby we're saying take care of the seed so that you can enjoy the fruits. So you cannot just plant a seed and leave it there to run dry. You need to nurture it. How are you nurturing it? By making sure you upskill yourself. You like with me, I didn't go to school for events, but with the skill and the passion that I had with me, knowing you are creative, you can do this. Why is it so difficult for others to say, because this, I can still make it in life?
Sure.
And
close it off, 30 seconds. Where can people get you?
Okay, where people can get me on social media, on Instagram, it's Songz with a Z. Songz Events Décor, just one word, on Instagram, and on Facebook it's Songz Events and Décor, and on TikTok it's Songz Events and Décor. And my business line is 082-643-8323.
Repeat that once again.
The business line is 082-643-8323. They can text, call, even WhatsApp.
Sure. Mr. Makopo, we don't have closing sentiments, running flat out of time. I want to thank you so much for making time to speak with us this evening, even though you drove all the way. Khan and Mpumalanga, you must definitely been tired. Miss Polelo, thank you so much. Maina, thank you so much for that particular valuable insights, and thank you so much for saying Z. Z. Right.
Okay, Z.
It's Z.
Oh,
there's no such thing as Z.
Can I get all the songs with Z?
Not a problem. Ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up this particular conversation. Let's we're closing up. Ladies and gentlemen, 30 minutes after 8 o'clock. Let's do this and we are out of this building.
That wraps up today's edition of Kasi Entrepreneur on the Groundbreakers. A big shout out to our visionary sponsor, Makopo.com, your home of premium, intelligent appliance designed for comfort, class, and convenience.
The Groundbreakers, Mondays to Thursdays, 7 to 9 p.m. on TUT.